on the News Channel 5 network. This is the plus side of Nashville.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Plus Side of Nashville. I'm Tawanda Coleman. Thank you so much for being here today. We've got a really interesting and informative show for you. Many of you may not have heard about one of these organizations that we're going to speak about. You may not know them by title, but chances are you've heard of their programs. They are behind programs such as Boys to Men, Girls to Women, and the Mary and Martha Restoration Clinic, just to name a few. We're going to learn about the City of Life Community Development Corporation in just a bit. But we're going to start things off talking about camp, because most every child would love to go to camp. But there are camps that are so expensive, and many families just simply cannot afford them. But there is a camp where all kids are welcome and it's free of charge. Here to talk more about Lighthouse Christian Camp is the founder and CEO, Ben Chapman, along with Sarah Smith, who's with Camp Administration and Program Development. Welcome to you both.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've loved reading and learning more about Lighthouse Christian Camp because, as I said, Ben, not every child can afford to go to camp.
Right.
How long has this camp been around?
35 years.
35 years. So tell us a little bit about your mission.
Well, it's all, I love to say to begin with that it's a supernatural work of God. It's born out of the heart of God for the poor, the needy, and those children that would never have the opportunity unless we did bring them free. So our camp, we're about 60 miles east of here on Center Hill Lake, and we have a lot of things there for the children, but we identify those children that maybe a lot of kids you know today are being raised by grandmothers and grandparents. And these kids that have come to camp would be those children that we search out that would not have the opportunity to come. So it's a monumental effort in about 14 counties.
Wow.
Nashville here, Davidson County, Rutherford County, and all the counties east of here. You can name them pretty well, all of Middle Tennessee, and the Upper Cumberland area all the way up to Crossville.
Wow. Sarah, how many campers do you have?
We have around about 800 that we have come on any given summer.
So every summer you're dealing with 800 children?
Absolutely.
What age range are we talking?
Our first timers are 9, 10, 11-year-old children, but we have follow-up programs. So after a child comes for the first time to camp, they have the opportunity then to come back to after-school club, weekend retreats, and other special activities like a fishing event, Christmas parties. We provide Christmas for over 800 kids each year. Not only that, but God revealed some time ago to give these children the opportunity at Christmas to experience the true meaning of Christmas, and that is to be able to give to their entire family. So we put out all these items like a Walmart store there in our big gym and give them play money, and they get to make their own choices to select gifts for children, for their whole family.
Yeah, that is wonderful. And I think when we say camp, we're not just talking about a summer camp. You all live on this particular camp location. So that's why you're able to have things year-round with these young people. And many of these children that you seek out are from disadvantaged and at-risk homes who maybe never would have been able to have this sort of experience at all. What types of activities are they able to participate in?
That's there.
We have horseback riding, which the kids just absolutely love. They go out on the boat, and they even have the opportunity to drive it, which is one of the funnest things that they get to do. They talk about it all week. They get to go on hikes. We have a couple other special activities like water balloons and different things like that we just take advantage of, and they of course get to swim every single day, which is their all-time favorite.
I can just imagine. I probably would have learned how to swim had I been able to go to camp, because I never really learned how to swim. Ben, how do you identify these campers that get chosen to come to the camp?
Well, in most of the areas, the teachers, the school teachers, special education teachers, the guidance counselors, family resource centers, we have to work with them and develop volunteers in all these different counties to identify the children then, of course, we have to provide the transportation to get them to camp. So, like for 1 week of camp, we'll have 120 kids there. And we do all our girls' weeks in June and our boys' weeks in July. And so when we may have 2 or 3 counties that'll come that same week. Then we in order to cover all 14 counties.
Wow, that is a lot. You must have lots of well-trained, good counselors that are helping you out, Sarah. Is that correct?
We do. We have quite a few that come back on a consistent basis, but we always need more.
Yes, let's talk about that. If someone is watching and they feel like, oh gosh, this sounds like something I would really want to become involved in, do you look for volunteers, camp counselors?
Oh, that is. Oh, yes, ma'am. That's a great need, because we want not just young people to be counselors there. So our goal is to have about 14 young ladies on staff that go through our staff training for the girls' weeks, and 14 young men. But to fill that out, we try to have at least 2 counselors in a cabin with about 8 children, 8 to 10. And so we only try to recruit enough young staff, but we need adults, volunteers. We have some ladies that's come in their 70s. You can't get old enough, too old rather, to love kids.
Wow, that's
and
so
be there
true.
for them. And so volunteers is a great need. Different ones each week. Of course, most of the time they do have to take a week's vacation to come. But we want family, men and women, to come and be there in a cabin to mentor these children.
Absolutely.
Makes a tremendous impact in the child's life, because we're living in a fatherless society. And so many of these little boys and little girls are so desperate to know that someone truly loves and cares for them.
can
It's a
just
great
imagine.
opportunity for those people that would love to come, you know, to really see change lives.
Right. If there's someone also that's watching and maybe they know of a child that this camp would be good for, to be in this environment, what do they need to do?
Well, they can call, they can email, contact at lighthousechristiancamp.com. They can look us up on the website. But the main thing would be to call, and we do background checks on everybody that's a
that's
volunteer. And they need to be strong Christians who, you know, we're sharing with the children. We want to see them come to that place where we know the great need is for them to come to know Christ as Savior and Lord. And so we focus on that. We have 2 chapels a day. On every activity, we're sharing with them that they can pray to the Almighty Creator God, and God will hear their prayers. And we see tremendous conversion, tremendous changes in children's lives that are so desperate. Many of them are angry, in a rage, but once they get through the place where, and the young ladies can build a relationship with the counselor, and they begin to open up and share their great needs in their heart, then they can see a heavenly, loving Father.
What a great experience for you all to actually see that transformation. And we were talking about earlier in the show, I bet you both had great success stories, and I'd love for you to both share one. If you would, Sarah, can you think of a success story of someone that you've seen their lives totally transformed having been to the camp?
Absolutely. There's just one young lady that sticks out to my mind. She kind of went off by herself and didn't want to talk to anybody, and when I approached her, she just basically said, "Go away, leave me alone, I'm worthless." And it's heartbreaking, and I just looked at her and let her know, you know, that's not the case. I love you, and I'm going to sit here and I want to know who you are. She said, "You don't love me, you only love me because of a paycheck." And I said, "I will willingly throw my paycheck out the door for you, because I love you, because Jesus Christ first loved me." And all week it was hard. She was angry and mad, and just was getting in verbal fights and all of these things. And Wednesday night came around, and she had the opportunity to respond to the gospel, and she did. And she came up to me and she said, "Miss Sarah, I have given my life to Christ." And I just asked her one simple question: "Do I love you because of a paycheck?" And she sat there and said, "No, you love me because Jesus first loved you."
Wow.
I said, absolutely. And just to watch her the rest of the week, you could tell that God was working in her life, and she had that meaning of God really loves her.
A lot of these children, I would imagine, just need to know that someone does care about them, that they are special in their own way, and that's what they're getting when they come there, it sounds like, that they feel loved.
Yeah.
You've got a similar story, don't you, Ben?
There are many. There are many. I just groping to try to think what.
Which one do you...
So God showed me here a little boy in foster care since he was a baby. Came to camp, and I usually do a lot of the preaching and the invitation. This little boy came to me, though. This was on a Wednesday night also, and like a lot of these kids that are so angry, and he'd been in a lot of fights at camp.
Yeah.
He's a very angry kid, but he came and he poured out his heart to God and was saved on Wednesday night. And then Thursday night in the chapel again, he came back, and I'd learned some about him. He wanted to talk to me again, and he came and he said, "Brother Ben," he said, I just don't get it. He said, "It's been a hard day." He said he got saved, and he was a changed kid that Wednesday. He tried to do right.
Yes.
Well, he said, this other boy that's in foster care with me said he's been aggravating me all day and trying to get me to fight. He said, it's hard to be a Christian. And I knew it was something. Well, he went on to say, it just seemed, and I couldn't argue with this. He said, it seems like to me that it'd just be better just to go on to heaven.
Instead of trying to be a good Christian.
Well, I asked him, I said, son, I knew something was really bothering him, disturbing him. I said, when was the last time you saw your mother? And he said, about 2 years ago. It don't matter. I said, what do you mean, son? It doesn't matter. He said, well, we were in the courtroom, and she said to me, I hate you, I don't like you. If I ever see you again, I'll kill you. I want you out of my life. And I was just so shocked that I said, son, why? Do you think your mother would say that? And the Holy Spirit already revealing this young boy's heart. He said, well, I guess she just doesn't love me. And
wow.
And
Those
his daddy had been, he didn't even know his daddy.
Right.
Some of these kids don't even know who their daddy is.
And those are the types of young people that you're changing the lives of. And we're so appreciative that you came here today to tell us all about Lighthouse Christian Camp. It's a wonderful opportunity to meet you both. Thank you so much. And we'd encourage, if you'd like to learn more, just go to your website, right?
Yes,
absolutely.
Definitely.
Thank you both. We'll be back with more right after this.